What's up, everyone? I thought it'd be fun to go over my top 3 Barbarian builds that I'm expecting to perform really well in the PTR and hopefully, into Season 7. Why only 3? Well, 1 for each day, because on the 6th, I'm going to PoE2 and probably a lot of you are as well, right? It is what it is. But yeah, for the 3 builds I want to test, the first one, of course, is going to be the Earthquake build with HotA, right? With the new chest, it's gonna be insane, I'm almost certain, and a lot of Earthquake support came in. It's gonna be cool. The second one, Whirlwind Lucky Hit. We've been trying to make this work almost since Season 4 or something, but I think with the new juicy witch power that we're gonna get, I think it might finally work. We'll cover it in a second. And the last one, it's something I've personally already been kind of fiddling with in Season 6, a full Minion Barbarian with the boys, our ancestral boys. Yep, I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna depend on if they fix some of the interactions and how the new minion thing they did, right? How that will shape up. But hopefully it's gonna be great because I've been having a lot of fun like this season, and yeah, it's insane. Oh yeah, just a quick reminder. If you don't have time to play the PTR, or if you're not gonna try these builds and you still want to know how they are performing and stuff, I'm gonna be playing them live, probably one each day on either Twitch or here on YouTube. Probably gonna be streaming on both, so feel free to come by. Again, go to the build. Anyway, let's go into the builds, right? I'm gonna cover the 3 builds and what kind of, witch powers, and don't forget the socketed jewels that we're gonna get for the witches as well. Those are gonna be really important. So first of all, here, I'm just gonna cover the things that we don't have on the planner. The planner, I think you can check for yourself. So we're missing the chest here, of course. You just go to chest, then you take the chance to deal double damage with earthquakes, if I'm not mistaken. This will be a bit contentious. Some people will try to focus more on HotA and overpower. Some people will focus more on Earthquake. Some people might go an hybrid build. I personally think Earthquakes will shine more because they got a ton of support. So that's the angle I'm going for. Everything else, I'm just gonna, over real quick so you have an idea what I'm going for, right? I'm gonna go to the weapons real quick in a second, don't you worry. Now here, you can see a quick duration here. I'm missing 2 tempers. The tempers are supposed to be here we go, this node, heavy hitter, that you can now get on the weapon. And before you come after me, this will be ultimate skills, dust devils, and earthquake, 15% each rank. So if you can get a +2 or +3 here, and masterwork it, it's likely gonna be really good. With that out of the way, let's actually go into the witch powers. I think for the most part, witch powers, you're gonna have, I'm gonna, put a thing there in the screen, or actually we can go here. As you can see, the witch powers here, you're gonna have 5 ranks. Let's open this up. As you can see, you're gonna have 5 ranks of the unique, and what seems to be 5 other socketed. With that in mind, the powers I want to go with would be the aura specialization, which, unless this is for some reason 50% additive, which it shouldn't be, it's just insane power up over the other choices. We have 4, this is the best one in my opinion. Then, to complement that aura specialization, we're gonna run, that's the unique by the way, we're gonna run Aura of Siphoning, which is going to be the aura that's going to be proccing aura specialization. I picked this one mostly because most of the auras are kind of they're not that good. And the other auras are either placed on our enemies or they're not as consistent. This one is always active, always around you. So that's the one I picked it, and gives you a bit of healing. Why the hell not? Then the second one, Soul Harvest. This is going to be run on every build as well. I see no reason not to run this. It's just free primary stat, right? We don't know how many we can have if it's just 3, if you can stack a bit more, even if it's just 3, it's probably better than the rest. Then the second one that I think will likely get run on almost every build is Wave of Ho. Yeah, we get in the Ho here. But yeah, Wave of Ho is just gonna do a lot of damage. It's gonna depend on the damage roll, of course, but it's likely gonna do a lot of damage. And any build can actually proc this, so why not? Then for the first one, X of Flames. It's an X, which is gonna be important in a second. And it's just nice extra damage, but we're mostly running it because it's an X. And the last one, it's going to be another X, and this one we're just going to run because it's an X. It's X of Whispers. The effect is not really that interesting, but it's just extra damage, but again, we're mostly running it because it's an X. And the reason we're running it, it's because there's one of the jewels. I'm assuming this is only for jewelry. They seem to have insinuated it's only for jewelry, because else on Barbarian you can basically equip all of them, which would be kind of pointless, right? So I'm just going to assume 3, and I'm going to pick 3. So the ones here are going to be Dust and Stone. This gives you 4 increased damage per aura or X. Here on HotA we're going to have 1 aura, 2 X's, so you get 4%. You get 12% damage increase, which is really great. Then another one that I think it's going to be run on pretty much every build, Moonlight Ward. This scales with the rank of your unique power, which, as we saw earlier, can go up to 5. So, 15% damage reduction, 5% maximum resistance. Insane, everyone's going to take that. And the last one, Friend of the Bog, which is just 10% main stat and 10% life. Almost everyone is wanna run it, and that's why we also took those powers, because I believe we have 3 Bog and 2 of the first ones, Eldritch, I believe. So, it's really great. Now, going on to the second build, Whirlwind, Lucky Hit. This is gonna be taking advantage of a really interesting witch power, which is gonna be the one we actually covered earlier, X of Flames. We're going to be running both Aura of Specialization, Aura of Siphoning, Soul Harvest, and Wave of O again. This build can specially proc Wave of O a ton, because you're scaling attack speed with Whirlwind, so you're just going to be proccing it tons and tons, right? And especially since you're scaling a lot of Lucky Hit, you're going to be able to proc X of Flames a whole lot. Then for our fifth, it's going to be likely Purging Touch. It's going to depend on how this works, but likely Purging Touch. And I want to make an honorable mention here, Decay Augmentation. This is likely going to be kind of like Berserk Reaping, maybe. It's going to depend. If it's like Berserk Reaping, we might take it. If it's just transform some of your damage into a dot, then we're probably not going to touch it, right? It's going to depend on how it works. The rest of the build, there's nothing too much. We're just going to proc a ton of Earthquakes and Dust Devils. We're not necessarily scaling their damage, although we're scaling it a bit, because why not? But we're mostly proccing all of this in order to, activate multiple X of Flames. Because after you proc a Lucky Hit, because you might be wondering, oh, Dust Devils and Earthquakes don't have a Lucky Hit, right? They don't. But after you proc the Lucky Hit, then you just need to hit the enemy. And, they're going to be X'd. When you hit them, they take extra damage. So I'm just flooding the build with a ton of ways to, hit them again. It could be potentially good to run the Ariat's Bearing, because you get, with HotA as well, with Call of the Ancients, because you get 3 extra hits from each of the Ancients, and then 3 extra hits from their effects from the from Ariats. Might be worth it. I don't know. We'll test it out in the PTR. That's why it's there, right? And lastly, the Minion Barb. Honestly, this is the one I'm most excited for. It's gonna depend on a lot of things, on how they balance stuff. Oh yeah, let's go back to the witch power. I forgot to tell you about the gems, right? We're gonna be running either Moonlight, Dust Stone, or Friend of the Bog like the other one. And potentially we might want to swap one of them. I'm not sure which yet. We might want to swap one of them for Wicked Pact, because this increases the potency of our Eldritch powers, which are like the Axe of Flames and the Wave of Hope. So, you know, might be worth it if it increases their damage. I'm not sure what potency exactly is, but you know, I think it's important to at least have in mind. Okay, back to the Minion Barb now for real, right? This is a really interesting build. Like I said, I think it's going to be really fun. They changed a lot. Now the minion damage actually comes from us, so does Berserk Creeping work on it? I don't believe it did before. Does it now? Who knows? Ariat sparing this damage, I don't think scales with ranks. Maybe it does in the PTR. They're changing a lot of stuff. So this is the most experimental one, and honestly is the one that has the most potential, because there are some insane like witch powers that I'm gonna, you know, go over in a second. Overall, you know, just getting that what was it called again? The heavy hitter, like on pretty much everywhere you can. Just running a bit of Earthquake and chance for the stables because of the Ariat bearing. It might not even be worth running Ariat bearing if it doesn't scale properly, but we'll see on the PTR, right? This is probably going to be the build I'll test the most, because it is the one that has most to test, and it's the, at least for me, the most interesting one, because it's something that we've never done before, right? Although I've played it a bit, but you know. Anyway, the powers we're going to be running, again, Arrow Specialization, Arrow Siphoning, Soul Harvest, Wave of Hoe, X-Flame, right? And for the fourth one here, I thought the best one would be Grow, of course. After casting an ultimate skill, your servants, your minions and companions grow in size, or guys are considered minions, and, you know, they deal extra damage for 15 seconds after you cast an ultimate. Well, we can cast Call of the Ancients every 3 seconds with this setup. Maybe like you can cast it like multiple times per second if you have like a big enemy pack because of Rage of Argath and Rupture. Like on single targets, only like every 3-4 seconds, but on AoE it's insane. You get a ton of voice out, but you know, enlarges them. And the important part, at rank 11, they get 100% critical strike. So to what degree can you just not have a single critical strike on your build because your minions, your boys, will be doing all the damage, right? And you can just get strength and a lot of other stuff. You know, might be worth considering. I'm not sure to what degree that's going to be the play, but you know, really interesting. And lastly, for the gems, this is the one that's going to have a lot of weird stuff, because Moonlight Ward is still strong, the Stun is still strong, Friend of the Bog is still strong, but the minions one have a lot of additional support. For example, Pointed Fingers, your summons just deal 25% more damage to exile it. We're going to be axing everything. So, you know, probably good. We have Totaling's Wish, which increases the potency of Growth and Decay, and the Grow power I showed you earlier is a Growth and Decay. I mean, it's kind of there, right? But, you know, might be worth if it buffs that one a lot. Then we have Voice of Stars. While you have arrows active, your ultimate skills gain a Grimoire tag and deal 10% more damage. You might just be here, yeah, it's just for the 10% more damage. Well, the Grimoire tag can be interesting. We are not exactly sure. Like, I'm not sure if this is just the Eldritch, Ground Decay, and whatever the other one is, or if this actually applies to the unique ones. In which case, Raging Enigma, that makes our unique witchcraft powers deal 40% more damage, might be really good. Because without this functionality, it basically just applies to the Piranha one. So, you know, this Voice of the Stars thing can be super broken, because remember, our ultimate is our minions. Our ultimates are our boys. So how that's gonna work, I don't know, but I think that it's gonna be a hell of fun. Regardless, that's gonna be it. I think these are 3 builds. Again, I'm not gonna have a lot more time to play around because I'm gonna go to PoE 2. I plan to make some builds for that as well, so I need some time. But yeah, I hope you can have fun with these builds. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'll try to answer most of them. Let me know how they felt to play if you want to come back here. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you're gonna have fun in this PTR. I think I will. And you know, see you next video. You know, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Can't forget that part. See ya.